happening. I'm going to introduce my guest in just a moment because we're going to talk a little bit about the government shutdown and how it's been affected. And you've seen some stories on G&G that we've been putting out there about some of the entities that are really being possibly hit hard by this government shutdown, and we're going to talk to one today. But make sure to like and share this post, and thank you for joining us. And again, you can watch it a little bit later, and we thank Sean Allen, our video journalist that is with us today. I'm joined by Brian Conover, and Brian is the executive director for the Central Kentucky Community Action Council. And Brian came on board about a year ago, as a matter of fact, and has worked through many things. One thing we're going to talk about, though, is the Head Start program in general facing closure because of the federal shutdown. And again, as I said earlier, we've talked about federal shutdown on G&G On Demand local news. I think first of all, let's talk about community action. Let's tell everybody that's maybe not familiar what you do. What do you do, and where do you do this at?
Central Kentucky Community Action, we operate over 12 programs across our 6 to 8 larger county area. We focus mostly on the Lincoln Trail Area Development District, but we do things like Head Start and Early Head Start, as you mentioned, Hal. We do public transportation for seniors and for folks who need to get around our communities. We do this Community Services Block Grant and LIHEAP programs, our low-income home energy assistance programs. We do senior congregate meals, so the senior centers in our area we do, and we do much more. There's a lot that we do, and really what our mission and our vision for community action is to help people and change lives, and that's from, cradle to nursing homes and everything in between. We work really hard to help every people through those things.
Talk about what you cover, the area you cover here in Central Kentucky.
So the main area is the Lincoln Trails Area Development District, so that's the 8 counties of Grayson, Breckenridge, Meade, Hardin, LaRue, Nelson, Marion, and Washington are our main counties. We have a little bit different based on the program, but those are our main areas.
Head Start is one big program, and you're hearing a lot of talk about Head Start. The Kentucky Head Start Association is really working closely with the National Head Start Association about what can happen during this federal shutdown. And there is some rumbling right now, and unfortunately I know there's some that's directed at Central Kentucky Community Action and the Head Start. Talk about the area you cover with Head Start, and talk about how this federal shutdown is starting to shadow on community action here at Central.
So Central Kentucky Head Start and Early Head Start, we operate 9 centers across most of the counties I just previously mentioned, and we serve exactly 400 children and families across our 2 programs. We are one of 150 grant recipients across the country who have a November 1st grant year. There's over 1,000 Head Start recipients across the country, so that this is a chunk of those folks. All of us with the federal government shutdown are not getting our funding letters or our funding approvals for November 1st. So our current funding runs out October 31st, and us with our board of directors are going to have to make some very significant and challenging choices over the coming week to figure out how we can keep things going, if we can keep our operations open to help serve those children and families. Head Start is a federally funded preschool program that allows for children to get nutritious meals, high quality early childhood education, any therapies or other services they might be able to qualify for, and also allows those families to get to work, to be in work, to be able to have a safe place for their children to be and not have to worry about child care or preschool. And so it really is a broad spectrum of support for our families and for our children that, quite frankly, Hal, is at risk right now. It's a super challenging time. I've got almost 150 staff members who are on pins and needles as well because they are funded, their positions are funded through that grant, and we are really trying to navigate some pretty tough situations right now.
And Central would be one of 4 in the state of Kentucky with that grant approval. Again, this is not for the grant. You've already been approved for the grant. Right. This is basically with the federal shutdown, there's no one there to administrate it.
Exactly.
So all 4 of these entities in Kentucky are waiting just like you.
That's right. One of the unintended consequences of the federal shutdown is when you send agency employees home, those are the bureaucratic supports that we rely on for budget information, for legal information, for best practices across all of our programs. And so the Office of Head Start, pretty much the entire staff have been furloughed as a part of this federal shutdown, and those would be the ones who would be processing applications and pushing forward funding notices to us. And so they're simply not working, and there's no one to do it.
So you and your board meet first of the week. What are some of the things that have to be determined, and what are some of the discussions that are going on right now?
Absolutely. We are working with some local banks to figure out what a line of credit might look like, how much we could afford, how much we could borrow, or we're looking at whether or not we have to cease operations and furlough staff and put our children home. It's really kind of two super extreme choices, and our board is fully aware of the circumstances we face. But over these next few days, leading up to October 31st, a lot of tough decisions are going to be happening, and we are trying to make the best of a tough situation.
Any other programs under that umbrella of Central Kentucky Community Action? I know there was talk low-income heating assistance programs, those community service block grants. Are there any other programs that you can comment on that maybe are starting to become under fire because of the federal government shutdown?
Right now, thankfully, all of our programs, the other programs besides Head Start and Early Head Start, are secure. Either the funding is already appropriated to the state, and the state has told us to maintain operations, or we are the calendar is more favorable to where we're not necessarily being impacted by the federal workforce not being in place. One thing, our low-income home energy assistance program, our LIHEAP program, is the winter subsidy is opening, the fall subsidy is opening, and that'll be open the first week of November. And so we want people to access those services. That helps those programs, if you're eligible, helps reduce your power, your electric, and your gas bills through the winter months, and is super important. So if that's something that you need, please visit your local CSBG office. They will be operating. But thankfully right now, how Head Start is the one we're most focused on. Everybody else, all of our other services should maintain normal operations.
As we're on this social media circuit, there'll be those that want to reach out and help Head Start. Would you have any type of advice for them if they wanted to do something, some help for Central Kentucky Community Action Head Start?
The best help I can ask for right now is to contact your elected officials in Washington. Be politically active, help them understand the importance of the work that community actions across the country are doing, but certainly Head Start here at home is doing, and ask them to figure out a way to get this government reopened. It's not, for us, it's not a partisan issue. This is a people issue, and we need our people with us, and we need them to get the government reopened so that we can get back to normal as we move forward.
So as G&G has told you, we're here to inform you, and we're going to keep you up to date with not only Head Start, but other programs that, because of the federal government, will be shutting down. That's for sure. Brian, thanks so much for joining us here today on G&G On Demand. We appreciate the impact that you have on the Central Kentucky area.
Thank you.
We do thank you so much for joining us again. For Brian Conover, Executive Director of Central Kentucky Community Action Council, I'm Hal Good for G&G On Demand.